By the end of this video, you'll be able to factorize quadratics like these, the ones with a single x squared. You'll also be able to solve quadratic equations like these, again with a single x squared. Ready? Let's go. First up, factorising, the bread and butter of quadratic equations. The classic form for quadratics is ax squared plus bx plus c. The letters just represent a number. In this video, we're only looking at a single x squared, so a is always 1. We can get rid of it. In this case, that means b represents 3 and c represents 2. Now, just draw two brackets like these, each with an x at the start. This is the first part of our factorised answer. To work out what fills the brackets up, draw a grid like this. We need to find two numbers that add together to get b and multiply to get c. In this example, we need two numbers that add together to get 3 and multiply to get 2. The easiest way to do this is just list out the factors of 2 and see which pair adds up to 3. In this case, it's really simple, as 2 only has two factors, 1 and 2. They add together to get 3, so these are the numbers we want. Pop them into the bracket like so. X plus 1 and x plus 2 is our factorised solution. To check, you can go ahead and expand them. You'll get the above quadratic, x squared plus 3x plus 2. Nice! To practice, here's another quadratic to factorise, x squared plus 2x minus 8. To remind yourself of the key steps, feel free to rewind back along and see how the previous quadratic was factorised. If you're feeling brave, try and solve it in under 30 seconds. Cool. Now that we've had a go, let's take a look at the solution. First, identify the numbers b and c. b is 2 and c is negative 8. Like before, set up two brackets that both start with x. This is the first part of our factorised answer. Here's the grid again. We need to find two numbers that add to 2 and multiply to negative 8. Simply just list out the factors of negative 8. We have negative 1 and 8, 1 and negative 8, negative 2 and 4, 2 and negative 4. Negative 1 and 8 is 7, so this is not our answer. 1 and negative 8 is negative 7, which is also not our answer. Negative 2 and 4 is 2, which is what we want, so negative 2 and 4 should go into our brackets. The final factorised answer is x minus 2, x plus 4. Go ahead and expand this out by multiplying each term with each other and you'll get our original quadratic, x squared plus 2x minus 8. Here's where it gets interesting, solving quadratic equations. These are the same quadratics we've met before. Here b is 3 and c is negative 18, but it just has an equals to 0 at the end. This just means we need to factorise the quadratic like before and then find the solutions to x. First, forget the equals to 0 and factorise like normal. Following the steps, set up two brackets that both start with x. We need to find two numbers that add to 3 and multiply to negative 18. Listing out the factors of negative 18, we have negative 1 and 18, 1 and negative 18, negative 2 and 9, 2 and negative 9, and finally negative 3 and 6, and 3 and negative 6. Negative 3 and 6 is what we want, so the factorised solution is x minus 3 and x plus 6. Remember we had an equals to 0 equation to solve at the start? Pop the equals to 0 back in, like so. To make this equation equal to 0, either the first bracket must equal 0 or the second bracket must equal 0, as anything multiplied by 0 is 0. This means if x minus 3 is 0, x must equal 3. And if x add 6 is 0, x must equal negative 6. Therefore, the solution to this equation is x equals to 3 or x equals to negative 6. Again, to practice, here's another quadratic to solve. X squared minus x equals to 6. If you're wondering where to start, here's a top tip. Rearrange the equation into the standard form. X squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. We'll reveal a solution in 30 seconds. Pause the video to have a go. First step is to factorize. Remember the top tip. Let's rearrange the equation so that we have 0 on one side, like so. Here b is negative 1 and c is negative 6. Now set up two brackets that both start with x. Find two numbers that need to add to negative 1 and multiply to negative 6. Listing out the factors of negative 6, we have negative 1 and 6. 1 and negative 6, negative 2 and 3, 2 and negative 3. Out of these, the correct solution is 2 and negative 3, as these both add to negative 1. That means the solution in the brackets must be x plus 2 and x minus 3 equals to 0. Now, solve the equation. We can make each of the brackets equal to 0. So if x plus 2 is 0, x must equal negative 2. And if x minus 3 is 0, x must equal x positive 3. So the solution is x minus 2 or x equals to 3. Thank you for watching Beat the Calculator. Make sure to like, share and subscribe, and watch out for next week's video.